What are REITs and how you can use them as an investment product in your portfolio? जानेंगे इस वीडियो में। So REITs are real estate investment trusts. So they are basically trusts which own a lot of revenue generating or income generating rental properties. So they are investing in lot of rental properties. So how does a REIT function? So REIT has investors like us who invest money in a REIT. REIT has a trustee who looks after the interests of investors and the management of REIT on behalf of investors. Also, REIT has managers and property managers who are managing the REIT. Most importantly, real estate investment trusts or REITs are regulated by SEBI, that is the Stock Exchange Board of India. So what is the difference between a publicly traded REIT and a private REIT? Well, private REIT is not available on the stock exchange for retail investors like us to invest. They are held by a group of private people or a collection of private people who are owning, managing that REIT and also benefiting from the dividends of the same. Publicly traded REITs are managed and available on the stock exchange. You can purchase shares of them like you would of any publicly traded company on the Stock Exchange of India. So, as per today of the shooting of the video, there are only 4 publicly traded REITs in India. One is the 𝗵𝗶𝗵𝗏 REIT, the other is Mindspace, the third one is Brookfields, and the fourth one is Nexus Select Trust. So all these 4 REITs are available on Stock Exchange of India and can be traded through various platforms like Zerodha, Grow or Upstocks or any of the platforms. You can directly buy the shares of them as you would buy stocks of any company. So SEBI and Stock Exchange Board of India regulates these REITs and looks after their financial well-being and if they are run properly or not. So SEBI has set certain guidelines which the REITs cannot cross in order to maintain their position on the stock exchange. In eligibility criteria of REITs, number 1 is 90% of the dividends that the REIT earns, whatever the rental income the REITs is earning is after deducting operating expenses, 90% of that has been mandated by SEBI, so that has to be distributed among the investors. Secondly, the NAV or the buy price of the units like NAV of a mutual fund has to be updated at least twice a year by the REIT itself to SEBI or on the stock exchange. The investment part, 80% of the investments that a REIT makes, they have to go in income generating properties. That is, the properties should already be built up. Whatever the rentals that are coming, they should come in from day one. And only 20% of the total investment portfolio can be done in under construction properties. Thirdly, a base value of 500 crores the REIT must have in order to be listed on the stock exchange and be available for the retail investors to invest in. So these are the various eligibility criteria that SEBI have set for the REITs to be available on the stock exchange. Now let's talk about some advantages and disadvantages of REIT. Regarding the advantages of REITs, so first thing is low capital. You can really go and invest in a REIT with as little as capital as 500. In physical real estate, the valuations go in lakhs or sometimes even in crores. So you don't need a very large amount of capital to start investing in REITs. You can start with just rupees 500 and then you can increase from there, right? So that is one thing. Secondly, unlike physical real estate, and this is the main advantage of REITs, they are highly liquid. Since they are listed on the stock exchange, you can sell the shares of the company anytime or the REIT anytime you want. So whenever you sell the shares, you just need to click a button and the next day the funds are going to be transferred to your Demat account, which you can transfer to your bank account and so on. Thirdly, because REITs are very huge companies, but the amount of risk that you're going to lose your capital is very low. For example, some time ago I checked the financials of 𝗵𝗵𝘁. So they had a valuation of, they were holding properties approximately close to 36,000 crore rupees in different cities in India. So let's just assume that one rental is free also, one property is vacant and they're not getting revenue from it. So it doesn't hurt them much, because the number of properties they are dealing in are multiple, and they are also dealing in multiple cities across India. So even if one sector is performing poorly, the other sectors might as well cover up for it. Let's talk about disadvantages of REIT. The major disadvantage of REIT is you can only buy as much money as you have available, right? So the major plus factor for physical real estate is debt financing, that you can do 20% or even lesser down payment, and you can do debt financing from the bank. You can take some money from the bank to effectively buy an asset or buy the property that you really want. So debt financing is not available for REITs, since the amount of capital that you need to buy them in the first place is very limited. Number 2, control. For some people who like to have direct control of their properties, who like to manage the properties themselves, or who like to have direct inputs, REITs is not for them, because REITs is effectively you are investing, but somebody else, trustee and property managers, are managing that property for you. So this can be considered both a positive and a negative also. For people who really need a large amount of control on how the property is run, what is going on with the infrastructure and everything, REITs is not for them. On the other hand, for an investor who really doesn't want so much control, who wants high liquidity and who already has a high amount of capital in the bank account sitting for investing, REITs are a really good option. What is my experience with REITs till date, investing in India? Well, my experience is a mixed bag. So firstly, I'll tell you, I invested in 3 REITs. One was Mindspace, 𝗵𝗵𝘁, and the other one was Brookfields. At that time when I started investing in REITs, the Nexus Trust was not available. And as per my knowledge, right now also the Nexus Trust has a very poor dividend return compared to the rest of the 3. So just to check out how the REITs are performing against each other, I invested an equal amount of money in all 3 REITs. So what I found was the Brookfield REIT dividend, that is the quarterly rental payment that was coming to my account after TDS and everything, whatever it was way poorer. The dividend yield was way poorer than Mindspace or 𝗵𝗵𝘁. So after a certain while, I looked at Brookfield's financials also, and I decided to exit my investment from Brookfields completely. So today I have my investments in Mindspace and 𝗵𝗵𝘁, and both are there, and every 3 monthly they are giving a yield above about 5% or 5.5% in my bank account. So also this is another thing you need to consider. The REITs don't give a monthly payment. REITs give a quarterly dividend payment. So you can expect your quarterly dividend payment in the 4th month, in the next month of the next quarter. For example, if you have first quarter, which is January to March, in the month of April or May, you can expect the first quarter's dividend payment in your account. So these two, and how is it performing as an asset class for me? Well, I would suggest the capital appreciation is definitely not there. In REITs, I have not seen much capital appreciation. That means the amount that I invested in has increased marginally or decreased marginally, but near about remained the same. So I would suggest investors not to expect, especially in India, capital appreciation in equivalence of stocks or mutual fund investments. It will not be there. It will not give you a 14% return on your capital. But the dividends have been really good. They have been strong. 5 to 7% dividends every quarter that I am receiving. What you can do is you can reinvest them in the REITs itself, and you can earn more and more cash flow every quarter, and this way you can compound it. And how much portfolio I would recommend? really an investor to have in REITs for that matter. In total, if I look at all the options that we have available, which is stocks, equity mutual funds, and then you have debt mutual funds, then you have gold, real estate, and all those other things, crypto. So not more than 5% or at max 10% should not be there in REITs. So REITs in India especially is very good for good cash flow, but till date, it has been 3 years I've been investing. I have not seen much capital appreciation in that class. So I would highly suggest investors to not invest more than 5 to 10% of their portfolio in REITs. I hope you really liked the video about REITs. You gained some new knowledge, and I'll see you in the next one.